What's up, gamers, and welcome back to another gamer moment with your boy Playboy Cutie. Please take particular notice that I didn't say epic gamer moment, because Epic is currently Fortnite dancing on the corpse of the PC gaming industry. So the word epic is now a slur, and we're gonna have to just reclaim that one at a later date as gamers. So this whole Epic versus Steam debate has kind of exploded for a lot of reasons, and there's a lot of points being made on the Epic proponent side that don't really make a whole lot of sense, and I feel could be cleared up with a quick Google or a high school economics class, but I'm going to break down a lot of these arguments and tell you why they don't make sense. The first turd that is always flung is corporations are not your friend. No fucking shit. Corporations are designed to do one thing and one thing only, which is take your money, and they don't give a shit what happens afterwards unless someone is trying to make them give that money back. No, Steam's not your friend, neither is Epic. But when you say, bro, corporations aren't your friend, don't you get that? Epic Games, that's a corporation, but they're not our friend, but they are going to help us. That does not mean anything. You've just strung together a bunch of buzzwords to make yourself feel superior and feel like you've won an argument when you have not generated a single thought on your own. You've just said a bunch of words strung together. Yeah, Steam has done some shady and abusive shit in its 16 years of operations. There's been issues with refunds, sales, problems in the EU, mistreatment of creators and employees. Yeah, that's bad. But getting free marketing from memes, whatever the fuck that means, and other people signing contracts of their own free will, it's not a problem. I'm just kind of going down the list of points that this article makes because this is the article that always gets linked. Also, Epic has managed to accomplish the same amount of bullshit, maybe not in the same degree, as Steam has in its single year of existence. So yeah, fuck Steam and fuck Valve, but fuck Epic Games and fuck the Epic Games Store too. Just because Epic wants to fuck you in a new and creative way doesn't mean you're not somehow getting fucked. Just because you say corporations aren't your friend when you see someone sucking Steam's dick doesn't mean you don't have a dick in your mouth. What exactly is competition? There seems to be a lot of misconception about what exactly that word means. So what defines competition, right? You have to be in kind of the general same price bracket. You have to have the same general type of features and quality, stuff like that. So an Applebee's and a Chili's are competitors. They have the same relative price, the same relative menu. So you've got $12 for lunch and you're trying to decide Applebee's or Chili's. That would be a moment where these two are in direct comparison. However, an Applebee's would not be a competitor with a high-end steakhouse like Wolfgang Puck's Cut in Las Vegas. And it wouldn't be a competitor if they were in the same fucking building. If the Applebee's was inside the Cut Steakhouse, they would still not be competitors. That's because these two restaurants are entirely different standards of dining. Applebee's doesn't have Wagyu beef. Applebee's does not have the same ambiance and presentation Cut has. Applebee's most likely has a steak that is the size of 3/4 of your palm, and that trashy girl you sorta had a crush on in high school singing drunk karaoke at 6 p.m. on a Tuesday. Saying those two are competitors is like saying that Epic Games and Steam are competitors. One of the big points people want to make is that Epic takes less money from developers, being a 12 to 18% cut, right? Okay, so that's 12 to 18% versus Steam's 20 to 30%. Let's say Epic is that $12 steak, right? Let's say Steam is that $30 steak. Which company do you want handling the money for your game which you're trying to sell a lot of? Which company do you trust? The $12 one or the $30 one? Which one comes with more features? For $12, you can get a buy button next to your game on the Epic Games Store. Cool. That's great. Sometimes that's all you need. Sometimes that's all you want. And that's fine. But on Steam, let's see what you get. You have the forums, the review system, you have customer support, you have scalable distribution infrastructure, you have a workshop for mods, you have a built-in network API, and you have built-in currency conversion. What you also get for that $20 compared to the $12 is whether or not your game goes on sale, how much it goes on sale for, instead of waking up one morning and seeing that your $30 game is now being sold for $5, and having no control over that, and no options except to take it off the entire platform for the duration of the sale because Epic Games cannot even handle a sale. That is the absolute epitome of lack of features. And if you are having someone handle the part of your livelihood where you make the actual money for your work? Do you want to be paying them a low amount of money so they do a shitty job, or a higher amount of money so they do a good job and actually give you features and options and support? That's a pretty easy question to answer. And that's why Epic Games is not a competitor to Steam. It might be one day. They might add all this shit and that would make them a competitor. But right now they're not. And throwing money into a void for features that could come later is the same type of ideology that got us into this shithole mess in the first place. Pay for this incomplete product and wait for the features to come if we decide to add them and if you give us more money for it. Does it make sense to just throw money into something that's not even ready? People don't like early access. People don't like pre-ordering games. People don't like DLC. So why the fuck would you treat a launcher and storefront any differently when it's doing the same exact thing? That doesn't make sense. Not to mention these anti-consumer practices that Epic has already engaged in, which is supposed to be the opposite of what competition does. Competition is supposed to make companies more consumer-friendly because they have to fight to be consumer-friendly to retain their users. Well, Epic comes on the scene, whips its dick out, puts in the fucking mashed potatoes, potato salad, everything on the table, and says, oh, by the way, we're taking Rocket League off Steam. And you can say that was the developer's decision, because it really, at the end of the day, was. But that's still a really shitty move. What's a monopoly, though? I've seen countless people say Steam is a monopoly. That's not true. Anybody saying it? If you could bother to take like 5 minutes to look up what a monopoly is on Google, you could see that that's a stupid argument to make. What makes a company a monopoly? A basic look at the definition will tell us that a monopoly is the exclusive possession or control of the supply of or trade in a commodity or service. Valve does not engage in anti-competitive practices such as buying and integrating or shutting down actual competitors such as GOG, so Valve does not try to eliminate competition. They have not done that. To violate the antitrust laws, you have to actively try to shut down your competitors. Sure, Valve has done some scummy shit, and you can read more about that in the link that I mentioned, but being shitty doesn't make a company a monopoly. Horizontal integration does. Horizontal integration would mean that Steam has all of something necessary to play games on your PC. This would be something like what Microsoft did in the 90s, where Microsoft attempted to prevent the Netscape browser from being usable on the Windows operating system. Microsoft caused this problem for themselves when they colluded to try to prevent other people from entering the market which they had cornered. That's what makes this illegal. So if Steam had been sitting here trying to prevent other people from entering the online game retailer or the launcher market or what the fuck ever, had they been trying to prevent that, that would be illegal. That would be a monopoly. But Steam hasn't done that. And Steam has not even been a de facto monopoly in many, many, many years. Steam was kind of the first launcher. That's kind of what pissed people off about it. They didn't like this whole idea. But now we've got a lot of them. We've got Origin, we've got Uplay, we've got GOG. These have all existed for quite a while. So Steam can't be a monopoly if it has actual competitors that already exist. The Epic Games Store isn't going to change anything besides finding a new way to fuck you out of your money and giving you less features for it. Fortnite fucked us. That's all I gotta say about this. They got a bunch of money and they just started wilding out. So fuck Epic, fuck Steam, fuck corporations, fuck you, and fuck me. This isn't a good situation. The PC game market is pretty heavily dominated by Steam. But welcoming another huge corporation with Fortnite money to fuck you in the ass doesn't make any sense. Epic entering the scene is not breaking up a monopoly. This is nothing like what happened to Microsoft in the 90s, and if you keep citing that fucking article on Wikipedia without actually reading it, you're a fucking moron. And this isn't any more consumer friendly than our current options we already have. If you got something to add or to argue about, please hit me up in the comments or on Twitter. I'll try to respond. Anyway, thanks and have a good day. This is Playboy Cutie blowing my brains out.